he's promising in a way that even though it's an incremental genocide, he'll induce the kind of panic and confusion of a swift genocide. So it's really the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it as quickly, and yet still you'll maintain the element of surprise the whole time.
That's nice.
I mean, that's like your, that's really
that's like the gold standard.
That's
like the gold standard of genocides.
Yeah. He will deliver their kings into your hand, and you shall obliterate their name from under the heavens. No man shall stand up to you until you have wiped them out.
Yeah, he definitely wants a strong Israel. I think God definitely wants Israel to have nuclear weapons. I think it's pretty clear from the Torah.
Yeah, I mean, well, the modern state of Israel has a population of, this is this is God looking for a kind of Saudi Arabia style Israel. He wants where other religions are banned and impurities are forcibly kept out. But the modern state of Israel has 20% Arab Muslim population or Arab population, and so by biblical standards, the modern state of Israel has failed miserably.
Well, we've always had non-Jews in our midst, but they need to know their place.
Well, okay, so yes, the Bible talks about the ger toshav, but
we can't have any Canaanites, but we we've always had goyim in our midst.
So goyim, so you can have goyim
but not Canaanites,
but not Canaanites.
They're just too wicked.
So this is specifically, but there's a lot of different peoples here. That it's not just the Canaanites. I guess that's a collective.
Well, the only people in Canaan are the Canaanites, because if they were like Egyptians, they'd be in Egypt.
Right. Well, right. But okay. But he describes them as peoples. But they're still
different Canaanite
different
peoples.
groups of Canaanites.
But I'm sure we brought Shabbos guys with us in the desert, because who else would light our fires?
Right,
and prepare tasty repasts and carry our bags for us. Like, you think the Israelites schlepped their own bags to the wilderness?
It's hard to imagine.
They had the equivalent of Guatemalans and Hondurans.
Right.
Carrying them so that the Israelites could study Torah and do Torah talks. That's
right.
what we're doing. so those non-Jews were fine.
Okay, so
because they knew their place.
Okay, so you can have strangers.
So when they get uppity. No, you don't have uppity non-Jews.
Right, and so the Canaanites are uppity. That's the problem.
Way too uppity.
But you can have strangers of other ethnic groups because they're less likely to be uppity.
Yeah. Like the Central Americans are much more likely to be humble, particularly if they're here illegally. Right.
And
we tell them, just one phone call and you're going back.
Right. So you got them kind of.
Yeah.
You got a little fear in them, so that keeps them honest.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Yeah. So what makes the Canaanites so uniquely abhorrent among the Goyim? I mean, why?
The child sacrifice, I think that was a bit of a black eye.
The child sacrifice?
Yeah.
So all these different things in the Bible we're describing, because I know sex with animals is a big...
the Bible's not real.
The Bible's very unhappy with that happening and concerned that Jews will be tempted by it.
I found some of that on the internet, and I was like, whoa, God would not be happy with this.
No, it's very upsetting.
I mean, it really upset me. I saw this unbelievable depravity. Just made me sick. I could barely stand to watch it.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't.
But you managed because you wanted more insight into the nature of these mitzvot, which is
why does the Torah prohibit this? I mean, on first glance, it looks so loving and affectionate. But it's really an abomination, and the more I saw of it, the more just sickened, repelled, and repulsed. I think
that's a very strong and judgmental reaction. They say, that historically, in traditional cultures, traditional rural cultures, young men had their first sexual experience with an animal, often with sheep.
That's the Goyim.
That's the Goyim.
That's why we don't live in rural areas.
That's why Jews tend to be cosmopolitan.
As we say, we avoid the temptation.
We'll end up sleeping with sheep.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's why people tune into Torah Talk, is for insights like that.
Right. All right, so we have the incremental genocide in chapter 7.
Okay, when you find their idols, you shall burn them in the fire.
Burn them in the fire.
And you can't take the silver and gold that is on them, lest you be ensnared by it, for it is an abomination of Hashem your God. So I kind of relate that to there are like a lot of shady jobs, shady activities, and shady industries out there that a pious yid can say, oh, I'll just participate in these shady activities just for the money.
Right.
But I won't really get into it. Like, I'll dance in Chippendales just for the money, but I won't really enjoy it. Mm-hmm. Or, I'll work with the mob just for the money, but I won't whack anyone.
Right.
I'll cheat on my taxes in this way, but I'll give 20% to tzedakah.
Right.
But this seems to say that lest you be ensnared by it. So it says, be wary of being ensnared. You can't even keep the silver and gold, for it's an abomination of Hashem your God.
Yeah, this seems very anti-materialist. I don't know if there's something specific about the silver and gold of the Canaanites, but if not, there's just a general. This is a cautionary. This is a warning about the potential of being kind of enslaved by desire for wealth.
Well, it's just the idols. It's not the gold bricks that they have in their Fort Knox.
Oh, okay.
Those are fine.
So you shall not cover the silver and gold on the idols.
Yeah, and there's also a proviso that wasn't handed down into the edition of the Torah that we have here, but that said, gold goes above $800 an ounce, then you don't have to worry about this mitzvah.
Right. That's a proviso.
Just as long as you give 50% to tzedakah.
Right. Where's this again?
This is a version of the Torah that not many people have.
Oh, okay, right.
It's like a little addendum there.
Right.
It's just like gold goes over 800 an ounce, then don't worry so much about this. But you're not supposed to bring abominations into your home. Go ahead.
Right. No, and the right here it says abhorrent thing, but the abhorrent things are again, it's idols. This is avodah zarah. Mm-hmm. We're being warned against.
Kind of like what you were participating in, just like absolutely soaking in, reveling in India for 3 months.
Yeah, no, India was an orgy of avodah zarah. I mean, it was literally almost.
But at least you were chaste.
Yes.
Those chaste orgies of avodah zarah that you don't see so often anymore, but you were able to find.
I was able to find a chaste orgy. Right. Well.
Avodah zarah, yeah.
But it was. Yes. What can you say? But and these are idols generally? I'm a little confused now about how much of this is just specifically relevant to in the land of Israel.
That's just the land of Israel. Like if you capture silver and gold idols in Afghanistan, then you can go to town and you can send them. What's those websites where you can just send in your gold and get cash for gold?
Cash for gold.
Yeah, you can just send it right in.
So much of the Torah is relevant. The laws of the Torah are specific to the land of Israel. For us out in the diaspora, there's much less guidance.
Yeah, there's much more freedom.
Much more freedom.
Like, smell this air. This is the air of a free country, Joe.
Yeah.
We go out and we snag some idols made of silver and gold. We don't have to worry
We're good
about
to go.
this.
We don't have to worry about this.
We can send them right into cash for gold.
I wonder, for Orthodox Jews, then, the moving from the United States to Israel must entail some radical life changes as far as how they observe the mitzvot. Is that right? I mean, they suddenly have a whole new body of mitzvot that they have to observe that were irrelevant in the diaspora. Is that true?
Not really. Very few people come across idols of silver and gold anymore, whether in the Holy Land or in the diaspora. It's not what they don't readily come into one's possession, so it's not like a moral choice that.
I don't know that that's true. I mean, last week, or what was it? I think it was Vet Chanan. They were being really warned against graven images of any kind. So anything that's gold or silver, that represents something lifelike, would be an idol, I think. Then.
Well, that's where we need the rabbis to tell us what we can have and what we
right.
can't have. But I can't think of any laws right off the top of my head that one would have. Well, yeah, there are the agricultural laws, the Shemitah years, so that's a complication. Then you're around a lot more Jews proportionally, so that's a complication. Jews tend to be a difficult people.
Right.
They can really test your patience.
They can test your patience in a big way.
Yeah. So yeah, those the laws of the Shemitah year. I'm trying to think what other laws